Hello and welcome to the edition. This week's episode is sponsored by Clean My Mac from Macport. I'm your host, Charlotte Henry. And joining me once again, because it's been far too freaking long, is my power and possibly yours, Kelly Guimont. Hello, Kelly.
Hi, Charlotte. It's really great to be here. I'm excited to get to join you again.
Yeah, I'm so pleased you're back. We've got a few things to talk about, but as we always do, because it's not really what I do on the show, but it is Apple product week, month, kind of early October, like mid-September to early October is kind of Apple month. I always think of it like there's always new stuff out there, always things trying to
Mhm.
take my money. And so, yeah, I thought there was no one better than a former colleague of mine at the Mac Observer to discuss this all with. So, the thing that gets all the attention, let's just focus on that, is the iPhone.
Yes.
Um, so there's lots of tech podcasts that do the iPhone breakdown where you can get the specs and this and that, which is fine. And we will
Hmm.
come to the iPhone Air as well, which is a whole different vibe going on.
Yes.
But neither of you or I bought a new iPhone, and I'm interested in why from a consumer perspective, and particularly from the perspective of two people who like using their phones to both consume media and to make media.
Hmm.
So hit me with why you didn't record, sorry, why you didn't buy a new iPhone to record new stuff on.
To record everything.
Yeah.
Uh, Mostly because starting, I mean, it's been a while because I know you and I, whether it was for a podcast or not, have had this conversation before. Um, the stuff that they brought on a fundamental level is not to me is not dramatically newer. It always has a better camera. There are certain things that we know to be true. You could put this out a year from now. We could get in a phone booth and put it out a year ago, and these would still be sort of universal truths. The camera is dramatically better than the one before, and it's got new, interesting,
I just want to pause.
yeah.
Dramatically better?
I, as far as the processing goes, it seems to get dramatically better every time. Like,
Fine.
not necessarily more megapixels, but like what the computational piece of computational photography can do for you. Like,
To the point that
there are
someone would
certain,
notice it if you're making content?
um, maybe not from year to year, but every two, it's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Um, so like if you have, this is the 17. So if you have an odd
I,
numbered iPhone now, wait, no, my math is bad. Nope,
yeah,
it's the
that's
17.
right. This is
Yeah,
17, I've got a 15.
yeah, I do too. I have a 15 Pro.
Yeah,
And
I've got a 15 Pro.
with an odd numbered phone, you may notice the difference. When I get a new phone, there are certain pictures I always kind of like to take um,
Right.
to see how they stack up over time. Like there's a neon sign that I like to take a picture of. Um, going outside and taking a picture of something at night, like once night mode became a
Yeah,
thing, trying to do some portrait mode photography for the same kinds of reasons, just to see how those things have evolved over time.
sure.
And uh, primarily, I have gotten more resistant because I am not Team Pro Max. I do not purchase a phone by the acre. So I don't,
You and I both have had long held opinions on this.
yes, for several reasons, one of which is the pockets in most of the clothing I own
Yeah.
wouldn't hold one effectively. But aside from that, uh, being able to realistically hold it in your hand. And I know
In
there are a
our
lot of
in our
people,
in our girly hands.
yes, wee little schoolgirl hands. Um, I know a lot of people who went Pro Max because of the amount of stuff you can do with your watch, uh, which is
Mm,
also a compelling argument. Like you don't have to have you don't have to take your phone out all the time in order to read a text. You can get it on your arm and reply to it effectively without having to pull that slab out to do whatever you're trying to do. I have found that I would rather have an iPad mini than
then a mini
a Pro
iPad.
Max than a mini iPad. Yeah, um, with cellular data, like really. So on a like the big thing that came to the 15, as you and I know, is the USB-C charging. And so now having everything use one cable and one wall plug is magical. And
Magical.
that's been one of the things that I have very much appreciated. That was what came to the 15 initially, was the bonus side button that you can program to do a thing, and USB-C as the charging mechanism. Um, both of those, well, both of those things are things that you still get now, but that was one of the biggest things, with eliminating the lightning cable. And so I've not had a need in the last couple. I didn't
No.
need the little slide on the side for the camera. I've seen it and it's kind of neat, but it isn't the fundamental change that we used to get, like in the single digit model numbers. Like now that you have this phone, you can shoot video, which was not a thing the first or second iPhone could do.
Which is
Now
such a,
you
sorry,
can
let's
buy
pause on
stuff.
that because that's such a crazy thought, right? Now I'm shooting video on it the whole time. But like the idea that you had an iPhone that you couldn't, could you always
Yeah.
take photos? Could you always take
Yes.
stills? You could always take stills,
Yes.
but you couldn't shoot video.
Right.
Like that's just kind
3GS
of
was when
mind
you got
blowing.
video. Yeah.
It's just kind of,
The first iPad had no camera at all. The
that's
OG
right.
iPad didn't even
No
have a camera.
camera. I mean,
Yeah.
and
These are
now
the
they
kind
are
of
the
things
cent.
that, yeah.
Now people can
And
make movies on them.
mhm. Now everywhere you go, there's somebody that hauls an iPad out and takes pictures of things. One of these.
I don't know where
Um,
you hang out, but they're definitely. But you could no, but you can go to a film studio.
mhm.
Filmmakers can make films on the iPhone now, and I feel like
On
we
the phone, yeah.
braze like blaze past this like it's a normal thing. It's
Well,
not a
because
normal
it has been
thing.
for a while. Something that you and I discussed, I think, on the Mac Observer Daily Observations podcast, when that was the show that I was hosting. Um,
Yes, and
One
I
of the
was your
times that we talked
guest.
about was, yes, there was a film where they took a pickup shot with somebody's iPhone camera on like the really nicest setting with Halide or Filmic, or one of those
Yeah,
sorts of apps, and it went into a feature film that was released into theaters. It was like one shot for like 5 or 10 seconds or something, but like that was the first time that had happened, and it has continued to happen since. And we've seen, we get the reports after the event, right, where they show the big rig where they're filming Tim Cook with an iPhone in a thing with a bunch of professional lights and all of that, but it's all happening with an iPhone. And those kinds of things are things that are not notable anymore. But like, there was a point when it didn't have video. There was a point when you couldn't bonk your phone or the thing on your arm on the thing to pay for the thing.
which you guys in
Um,
America still don't do
you
that
know,
much anyway, but that's a different conversation.
that part's a little different, but a lot of places that I go, like I went out shopping over the weekend. I had like some certain things I needed to do and some stuff I needed to buy. And I had a show on Friday and had left my wallet in my bag, instead of having it in my purse with me. And we went out and I went, oh no, I left my wallet at home with the
Ching.
credit card I wanted to use, my ID and everything, and just bonked my arm on the thing to
Yeah,
buy stuff. Yeah, it's that 1 second where it feels like we live in the future is when I get to
yeah.
put my arm on the thing and I have magically bought whatever it is that was on the counter. That part is great. But like some of those, like there was a point when those things were dependent on the phone model that you had. It wasn't table stakes that when you get one, you are getting a 4K video camera, a really, really nice digital camera,
Yeah.
a really, when before 2000, what, maybe 10, were people spending $1,000 on a flashlight, for example? Um, and then like the whole industry around all of the stuff that goes into those, cases and chargers
Yeah.
and the thing and the other thing and the other and the other and the other. And I'm a sucker for, like, I have this little thing for my phone that does a whatever, because I am convinced that that is one of the ways that you keep your technology happy, is that you occasionally buy presents. So
Yeah. This
there's
has
there's
been
a
a
lot of things
long-standing
that have,
belief.
yeah, there used to be big changes in every model,
Mm.
and now they are adding things and they are interesting things, but it's not a fundamental difference in what you can do with your phone. It's more of a refinement or an improvement in something.
Yeah,
And
these
I
are
didn't see
increment.
anything in what I needed. So like the 18, I'm probably going to be real excited
Yeah,
about. 18 or 19 is where I'm at because I've never been a rent it for 12 months and then get the next one the
no,
following September, which is, by the way,
yeah,
the holiday that Mac admins, people in my field,
yeah,
tend to call it is September because it's always when the Mac OS upgrade and the iOS upgrade cycle
yeah.
happens,
We've got all
is
that. We
those
went from
things. So,
iOS 17 to 26.
mhm. Yeah,
Did a
but it's
bit.
always like late September, early October, which just became
Which is
September.
yeah, which is why I wanted to
And
have this conversation with
yeah.
you now. But what I'm hearing from you, and this is the same reason I came to the same conclusion as you, basically. I paid
Hmm.
off this iPhone. I was like, okay, so I'll have a year paying slightly less
Hmm.
a month on something. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
There was nothing in the iPhone 17 Pro that was like, Charlotte, you must have this. It will fundamentally improve your business. It will fundamentally, do you know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
not to say it's a bad thing. If you've got a 14 or 15, I'm
No.
sure you will get
Yeah.
good good upgrades. But for me, these are now incremental changes, and it
Hmm.
wasn't quite enough for me to jump
Right.
straight away.
Yeah, I think the last big thing was the USB-C charging because with the 12, I went from the 12 to the 15. And when I got
So did
the
I.
12 was the first with 5G, 5G
Correct.
cellular service. And so
Correct.
once that got more prominent, it was like my phone just sort of continued to get upgraded over time as it was much easier to access the faster data network. So like
Mm.
those kinds of things, none of those kinds of changes are things that happened in the 17. So it was kind of like that's a great phone. And yeah, next year's will also be great. And when I'm a little maybe more inclined to get something new, then then we'll talk about it. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm really fascinated by these iPhones and other Apple products in the content creation space. And I don't mean content creation necessarily in how you think of it as an influencer on TikTok or Instagram, although that is one part of it and it's very interesting.
Hmm.
I'm also interested in it. You know, I hear stories of BBC journalists being able to go out on stories and just cover the story on their iPhone. I know there's
Yeah.
a whole, I'm sure there's a whole thing in the BBC about that. I think I've heard stories of football matches being covered by people using an iPhone.
Hmm. Yeah.
And the
And
way these products
everybody
have,
here, like, there's a lot of news happening. I live in Portland, Oregon. There's a lot of news happening here right now, and lots of it is being captured by people with iPhones, just like it was the last time anybody heard about Portland, Oregon that did not live
right,
here. Same thing is you have something in your pocket that is a very capable device to help show the world for good or for ill or whatever agenda it is that you have as you show it to do that very, very effectively and have it be something that can be broadcast quality, and it
that's the
fits in
key
your
bit.
pocket.
And that is
Hmm.
the key bit. The last two words you used, broadcast quality. Because now it's not just about putting a clip on social media. These things can go on TV and you filmed it in 4K.
Hmm.
And I'm looking at the iPhone 17 and yeah, I'm sure people will get that and will notice even more broadcast quality capabilities on that.
Hmm.
That is for sure. You know, the camera control really does change. Sorry, I'm just looking through the specs. I'm going to have to ask you this. What on earth is the vapor chamber?
That is some new. It is the thing that I thought was kind of the most entertaining of the features. It's they took your phone and they filled it with liquid to help keep it cool. It's liquid. It's like a liquid cooling thing so
So
that
like when
your
my
phone doesn't
hand
get
burns
super hot.
when I'm
Yeah,
charging it, that's not happening anymore. Okay. Now,
right.
again, no bad thing if you're out building, creating work out in the world. We're not
Yeah.
talking about the orange car because frankly I'm disgusted. I'll tell you what, I want to talk about these as a media consumption device and other
Hmm.
media consumption devices that came out from Apple. But first, I want to thank our sponsor for today's show, Clean My Mac from MacPaw. I'm thrilled they're supporting this show because it's a product I know, love, and has helped me keep my machines running smoothly for a number of years now. Clean My Mac is your ultimate solution for Mac control and care, notarized by Apple and meticulously crafted by MacPaw, a leading macOS and iOS software development company. It was featured in the Mac App Store shortlist of the best 25 apps for 2025. And as I say, it's a particular favourite of mine, and I think Kelly's as well.
Yeah.
Clean My Mac has a new cloud cleanup feature that connects to your accounts on iCloud, OneDrive, and Google Drive. It scans the clouds to find large space wasters, synced and unsynced files, both in cloud storage and on your device. All the scanning happens locally on your Mac, so your data stays safe. To use this fantastic new feature, all you need to do is to be logged in on the corresponding service's desktop application on your Mac. You can then remove files from your disk or evict them solely from your cloud storage, instantly getting you some free gigabytes. If you change your mind, you can restore the files back. Paying attention to your cloud storage is beneficial both for your mental health and wallet. So get rid of those files that are weighing you down. Get tidy today. Try 7 days free and use my code ADDITION for 20% off at clnmy.com/the addition. That's clnmy.com/THEADDITION. Thanks to Clean My Mac for sponsoring this show. We didn't get Macs, but we did, as I say, get iPhones and something I'm very excited about because I'm using them right now, AirPods 3, AirPods Pro 3,
Yes.
which are
Yes.
delicious. They
Yes,
are,
I will cover mine up. I only have the twos. I have
you
second
got the twos.
gen,
And the
like a
twos were, let's be
mortal,
clear, a
but they're
great
brilliant.
product.
They're brilliant. I love mine so much. I had the original pros, and I was going on a couple of long plane trips, and the second gen had just come out, and one of mine had decided it was going to only charge intermittently. And so I figured I didn't really have a choice and I was going to have to
Yeah, you're going
buy
to
new
chop it up.
ones. What a
But
tragedy.
they're great. But I tell
Yeah.
you, did test out the twos briefly, but the
Hmm.
AirPods Pro 3 are the best audio product Apple has ever made. I mean that
Hmm.
absolutely sincerely.
Yeah.
The sound quality is better for like listening to music and podcasts, and indeed, and we'll come back to this with the display on the 17 Pro.
Hmm.
The quality for listening and to watch TV on them and things like that. If you want to, plug it into a Mac, plug it into. If you want to be a absolute heathen and watch TV or a movie on your phone, which is something I've never approved of, and apart from in sort of desperate circumstances. Like they've really
Same.
upgraded these.
Hmm.
Seriously, they
Yeah.
can do things like heart rate. You can nod or shake your head and do all those things in order to answer the phone.
That stuff is great. Like if you
Which
have
did
it
come
working
in the
for
two,
you,
some of those features.
yeah, the gestures, yeah, I have the gestures. I don't have the heart rate. I have the gestures, and one of the things I really like is the volume adjustment
Mm.
just by putting your finger up and down.
On
Which
the
which I
side of the
have.
iPhones, yeah.
Yeah, on the
On a lot
side
of
of the on the
AirPods.
stem there. Yeah, that part is fantastic. Um and all of like one of the big things that came to the two was the individual pieces all showing up on Find My. So if you drop your case and each
Yes, yes.
individual headphone ejects from the case as they are wont to do from time to time, then you can find all three things. You can find the case, and you can find the one AirPod, and you can find the other AirPod, which is phenomenal. Um, the one of the things that I noticed, because it's a thing that I use regularly and was the reason I pulled the trigger on the upgrade from the ones to the twos instead of just muddling through with one that kind of felt like charging occasionally, is the noise cancellation. The noise cancellation on these is magnificent. I can't even imagine what it's like on the threes.
Yeah,
And
I've been on the tube and I've been on very
yeah,
loud underground lines in London, and it's absolutely
yes.
phenomenal.
Yes. And
And
as
I
friend of the show has said they make great earplugs if you are in spaces that are frequently loud, like if you go to concerts and things, that
They
it's
make
one of
great ear.
the,
Absolutely
yeah, one of the best
right.
hearing protection you can get as well. So yeah,
No, that's all entirely true. And I do think, look, I don't want to spend listeners' money for them. I do. But
I
if
do.
you're
Yes.
if you're on, certainly if you're on, I think there are things that are definitely better about the three compared to the two. I
Mhm.
think if you're going from one to three, it is a world of difference and is
Yeah.
worth the investment if this is a piece of kit you use day in, day out.
Hmm. Yeah, 100%. And additionally, uh, even from the two to the three, if you need some of those features like the heart rate monitoring and the noise cancellation is a little bit better. One of the things that I really like about the noise cancellation is with over ears.
Mm,
If I have over ear with noise cancellation, sometimes because of like the pressure in it or whatever, I'm one of the people that gets a headache from that.
mm.
And so these don't do that, and that's
Can be a
been
bit
really nice
claustrophobic.
because it get yeah, but I end up feeling kind of like I took one too many rides on a roller coaster or something.
The
If
roller
I've
coaster of
because I've done
life.
it like yeah, like I've done that like on cross country flights from the West Coast to the East Coast and had over ear noise canceling headphones and it just did not work for me at all. I felt really terrible when I got off the plane, like on several fronts, but one of them was like this low grade headache. And it turns out that that's a thing that sometimes happens to people. And I don't get that with these. So I still get the noise cancellation of not
Yeah.
having to listen to the plane the entire time, which is really nice.
There's one thing also, which is the way the AirPods Pro 3 are done. They give you more ear tips now, so you can really get them. They give
Hmm.
you, I think, six different ones in the Pro
Oh,
3.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was three in the box. Sorry, six in the
Hmm.
box, which really helps you make sure they fit comfortably. Do you know what naughty thing they don't do? You can guess this. They do not put a USB-C cable in that box anymore. They've made it in
Yeah.
the UK. I think they were £10 cheaper than the twos, but there is
Oh,
no,
and that would be why. Yeah.
and they've taken the money off, but they have not given you a cable, which
Yeah.
is like kind of okay because I have enough USB-C cables knocking around, but it's a little bit
Yeah.
naughty.
Yeah, a bit. The other one of the things that I had a hard time with initially with the when I went to the pros was getting finding ear tips that fit because the ones in the
Mm,
box didn't really work. I'm between whatever the three sizes were that they used to ship. And so I ended up getting comply memory foam tips for mine and like for a while had a hobby of are these ear tips any good for me or are they going to just
yeah.
keep falling out of
Well,
my
there's
ears
now,
kind
as
of
I
a
say,
thing,
about
so
five or
yeah,
six options in the three, which does make a
which is
difference.
great.
Yeah, it does make
Yeah.
a difference to making things up. It is amazing actually how Apple has improved. I think the microphone has got better and better in each generation as well. Because
Hmm.
you used to always be able to tell when someone was talking to you on AirPods. And I think that has got better like I used to buy a wired
Yeah.
cable,
Hmm.
those £15 wired earpods, not
Yep.
AirPods,
Yep.
because the microphone is better. And
Yep.
like again, going back to recording content, I always used to
Hmm.
make stuff using the earpods, not the AirPods, because the audio
Yep.
quality was a bit better.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I haven't tested it yet, but I think the probably the differentiation now between those two when you've got to the AirPods Pro 3 will be much less significant.
Yeah. Now I can tell when someone switches to their AirPods because like the background noise is less. So it's almost like I can hear you better
Yeah,
now because
yeah,
you're not on the regular phone microphone and you're not on speaker. And so if you're on a pair of headphones, like I can tell when you switch off, whatever the phone mode is or
yeah,
something instead, which is kind of an odd thing. It's one of those sort of evolutions, like, oh, you sound a lot better. You must have put your
yeah.
headphones in.
So
Yeah.
one thing I didn't have on the AirPods Pro 1, but I did do think is in the 2 and is definitely in the 3 because I tested it last night, is the adaptive mode, whereby you have noise cancelling on, but as soon as the AirPods detect talking, it
Hmm.
goes to transparency mode, it turns off. So
Yep.
I'm that terrible person that almost always listens to music or a podcast, something when I'm in a cab. Um, so so yesterday I was in a taxi and I was talking to the driver and the driver responded back for a couple of moments. And because I
Hmm.
had it on transparency mode, it was fine. Like you can have that conversation without doing that
Hmm.
awkward, oh, sorry, what was that, mate? Like
Yeah,
it's such a clever thing.
it's really nice. Yeah, yeah. I appreciate it very much when I'm doing like if I'm out and about or even like sometimes if I'm at home and my husband walks in if I'm like trying to concentrate or something and I've got something on and then if I've got noise cancellation on if he talks to me I can hear what's
Oh
going
no,
on
you
around me
definitely ignore him. I know you
and
well
not
enough to
get
know you ignore
you know
you
yeah.
ignore him. Yeah, thanks, excuse
Well,
me.
I mean, but I get the option. I can tell he's talking and then I can choose to ignore him. Or,
Sure.
as opposed to before where, the door is behind me. So he would walk in and like tap me on the shoulders, say my name and then tap me on the shoulder and like I'd jump because I didn't know he was behind me.
Yeah.
And I don't get that anymore,
Let's
which is
just
nice.
the 17, iPhone 17, let's go Pro, but well, we haven't discussed Air. Let's quickly do the iPhone Air.
Mhm.
I mean, I've got a piece of paper next to me. It could be an iPhone Air. Like, how do we feel about this?
Honestly, when they introduced it, I just started laughing because the last time anybody remembers a big headline about an iPhone, it was that Americans were putting them in their back pockets and sitting on them and bending them. And so Apple's response to that was to make an even skinnier phone. And I just do not understand how those add up.
So you're not getting one.
No. If I was going to get one, it would be the Pro because I always want the camera and it's always
Yeah.
a little bit smaller. It's a little shorter and a little narrower than whatever the regular model is. And that's
Mm.
usually like those two things make the Pro a really good sell for me because again,
But
teeny hand, teeny pocket, and good camera. And the camera, like, right, like it used to be a communicator that could take pictures, and now it's
no,
a
it's yeah.
camera that takes phone calls in my use
Yeah, yeah.
case. And
But
so,
I feel like there are going to be people that are compelled to the Air. Not just,
mhm,
I mean, there's obviously the cheaper price point,
yeah,
but also lighter, skinnier. People might not be so demanding on the camera. I
mhm,
mean, and the camera, let's be honest, the camera on the Air is still pretty good.
it's a great camera. Yeah,
You're not really getting you're really not getting some kind of piece of trash camera. Like it's not going to be
no,
how it used to be, where you could really tell the difference between camera quality.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the gap between each model has gotten narrower. It seems like with every model, like they get a little closer together and it would be a great phone for uh like I think this takes the place of the SE. I think that's what they're
Yeah, okay.
doing.
Do you think that's
I
gone?
want there to be a mini, but I think this is the
Mini's
SE
not
now.
happening. The
Is
Mini's never coming back. So I'm just
Yeah.
looking at the fundamentals between the 17 Pro and the Air. So they both have an A19 Pro chip in them. They've both got a
Hmm.
six-core CPU. They both and that with neural accelerators. They both got a 16-core neural engine, and they both
Hmm.
one big difference is you can get 10 hours more video playback on the Pro compared to the Air. Okay, fine.
Hmm.
There's they both got dual capture. They both got an 18 megapixel center stage front camera. There
Hmm.
are more cameras. There's only one lens. This is the key difference. There's only one
Yeah.
lens on the
Right.
Air. There are three lenses on the back on the Pro.
Yeah.
And that is a
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah. But you were never going to be the person who was going to get an Air if the point of your upgrade is the camera anyway.
Quite.
So if you're somebody who wants to be able to take a picture sometimes when you're out and about,
Yeah, family
and the
snap.
best camera you have is the one that you have with you, then if that's the situation that you're in where you're not as demanding on your equipment, then the Air is a great option for a lot of people. Like the
Um,
SE was a great option for a lot of people.
yeah, just to wrap up the differences in the cameras, as well as the
Mhm.
different lenses, there's more zoom options in the Pro, There's also macro photography. You can shoot Dolby Vision up 4K at 120 frames per second on the Pro. It's only 60 frames per second on the Air.
Mhm.
So you're not going to be making cinema with an Air, but
But you can make
snapping,
something that looks great on your TV when you get home.
but
Dolby
snapping your
Vision,
niece and
4K. Yeah.
nephew is going to be
Mhm.
fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're it's £100 cheaper.
Hmm.
I assume it's about the same in dollars, about $100 cheaper. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Something
nine
like that.
ninety
Yeah.
nine or 1199.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's sorry, that's 200 difference, isn't it?
That's 200. Yeah.
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 So yeah, it's quite a significant difference and
Yeah.
a meaningful difference depending on what you want. So just throwing that
Right.
all out there. Nothing's going to tempt you this cycle, is it? Unless woe betide, something happens to your actual phone. You're going to get a watch, are you? Kelly's
I'm
waving her
debating it
wrist at me for people listening.
heavily. Yeah. I'm debating it heavily. Just because I have a Series 7 and I would like to it doesn't last all day.
Right.
Um and I used to be able to charge it once in the morning and have it last through the day and through the night and then come in low in the morning and put it on to charge. And I don't have that anymore. Now I have to put it on to charge in the morning. And then at some other point in the day, I need to give it another little while in order to get it because I sleep with mine on because I like the alarm
Oh,
feature of the gentle wrist tap as
yeah,
opposed to
yeah,
blaring
yeah.
sound every morning. It's so much more civilized. And so if I'm going to wear it all night, I have to now give it an extra bit of time on the charger at some point during the course of the day in order to get through because my battery is basically had it because I got the 7 when the 7 was released and I have basically worn it every single day since.
So, and it's now the
And so
11. So,
yeah, and now all this time later, um, it's time. It's had its day. I
do you
was
know what you've
debating the
done,
battery
Kelly?
replacement, but I might need a new watch.
Do you know
I
what
think
you've
I've
done,
spent your money.
Kelly?
I think I've
You've
spent a little
made
bit of
me
your money.
go to the Apple page and look at the different watches because I have the
Hmm.
original Apple Watch SE,
Yes,
which, like, I'm pretty sure you
I
made me
remember
buy
that
that
conversation.
as, yeah, you made me buy that as well. And now I'm looking at the different watches and I fear you've cost me some money. This is always happens when you come on the
Yeah.
show. Um,
Uh,
so because of that, we're going to end this episode.
well,
Thanks very much.
Chuck Joyner has the same problem. Friend of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
show, Chuck Joyner has the
Well,
exact same
Chuck and
problem
I
because
will
he
be
has
back
me
very
on the gift guide.
yeah, well, Chuck and I will be back very soon with a new TV Plus talk. So make sure you're on this feed for that. In the meantime, I'm very excited to tell you my book, Streaming Wars, which I'm waving for people watching on YouTube,
Yay!
is out now in the UK, lots of European countries. Kelly, you're going to have to wait a bit longer. It's out on
Yeah,
the
no.
28th.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very excited about your book. Congratulations. It's so nice to see it out in the world. I know it's been coming for quite a while, so I'm
Oh my
really glad to
goodness.
finally see that it's
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
And where can people keep up with you, Kelly?
Well, if you are local, you can come out and see my band. Um, uh, otherwise, you can occasionally find me over on The Incomparable, where I sometimes play game shows on podcasts with people or talk about other nerdy pursuits in the pop culture realm, like movies and television shows and that kind of thing, sort of like I do here. And you can occasionally find me when our schedules align. Mike Rose and I still occasionally drop episodes of The After Show with Mike and Kelly over at aftershowpodcast.com, brought to you by Weather Alibi. And other than that, you can generally find me on Mastodon. And yeah, that's
That's a lot of
pretty much
Kelly.
it. Yeah, it is.
I love it.
Oh,
Uh,
occasionally on In Touch with iOS with David
Perfect.
Ginsburg. I do sometimes show up over there when it doesn't conflict with band practice. Sometimes I can go pop up over there from time to time.
Excellent. Well, go do that. I'm at Charlotte A. Henry across social media. I'm at theedition.net, and I'll see you all next week.